Why continue your music education? Good day, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Gilbert Castro. I'm a music educator, instructional designer, and facilitator with years of experience designing and facilitating learning and development programs while also teaching aspiring musicians of different ages and skill levels. Throughout my career, I've noticed something that almost every music teacher eventually experiences. A student reaches the end of their lesson and tells you, "This will be my last session." Sometimes it's because they are busy, sometimes they feel they aren't improving, sometimes they simply lose motivation, and sometimes, despite wanting to continue, they or their families no longer have the financial capability to keep taking the lessons. As teachers, those moments can be challenging because we know what they are walking away from. The reality is that students, and especially parents, need to clearly see the value of what we're offering. They need to recognize the progress they've already made and understand the lifelong benefits that music education provides. Today's presentation is about helping us communicate that value more effectively so more students choose to continue their musical journey. Learning objectives. We have four learning objectives. By the end of today's session, you'll be able to explain the long term value of music education beyond simply learning songs, understand the most common reasons students stop taking lessons, learn practical ways to keep students motivated throughout their musical journey, and most importantly, discover how we can encourage both students and parents to commit to long term music education. This isn't just about student retention, it's about helping students experience the life changing benefits that only consistent music education can provide. Most students quit too early. Let me ask you a simple question. Why do you think students quit music lesson? In reality, most students don't quit because they lack talent. They quit because progress feels slow. School becomes demanding. Motivation fades. They compare themselves to others, or they don't see immediate results. And sometimes financial circumstances make it difficult for families to continue, even when the student wants to keep learning. While we can't always change every circumstance, we can influence many of the factors that keep students engaged and help families see long-term value of continuing music education. As teachers, we sometimes focus on teaching music, but we also need to help students recognize their own growth. If students can see their progress, they'll assume they're not improving, even when they actually are. That's why our role extends beyond teaching notes and techniques. We must continually remind students of how far they've come and help them see where they're capable of. The good news is that many of this reason can be addressed, and throughout this presentation, we'll explore practical ways to do exactly that. Talent is more important than practice. And one of the biggest myths in music education is that great musicians are simply born with talent. The truth is, talent may give someone a head start, but it doesn't determine long term success. Consistency, quality practice, good guidance, patience, and time are what truly makes someone improve. Every accomplished musician you admire reach that level because they kept showing up and kept learning. Our job as teachers is to remind students that progress is earned, not inherited. Music is more than learning songs. Many people think music lessons are only about learning how to play songs, but every lesson develops much more than musical ability. Students build discipline, confidence, creativity, focus, patience, memory, and emotional expression. These are life skills that benefit them not only as musicians but also as students, professionals, and individuals. That's why music education is an investment in a whole person, not just a hobby. The iceberg of learning. Think of learning music like an iceberg. What students see is only the tip. They see themselves playing songs, but underneath the surface, they're developing reading skills, rhythm, technique, ear training, finger strength, musicality, confidence, and many other abilities. Much of this growth isn't immediately visible, which is why some students feel they're not improving. As teachers, it's our responsibility to help students recognize the progress that's happening beneath the surface. Because once they see it, they're much more likely to stay motivated and continue learning. Show progress. One of the biggest reasons students quit is that they forget how far they've already come. That's why we need to make progress visible. Try to compare old videos with recent performances. Review songs they've already mastered and celebrate every milestone along the way. When students can clearly see their improvement, they're reminded that their effort is paying off, and that becomes a powerful source of motivation. Connect lessons to their dreams. Instead of only asking, "Did you practice?" Try asking questions that connect with their goals. Like, what song do you want to learn? Do you dream of performing on stage, playing in church, writing your own music, or simply playing for your family? When students have a meaningful reason to learn, practice becomes something they want to do, not something they have to do. People stay committed when learning has a purpose. Make learning enjoyable. Technique is important, but enjoyment is equally important. Students are more motivated when they get to learn music they genuinely love, whether it's pop songs, OPM, movie themes, anime music, worship songs, video game soundtrack, or classical hits. We can still teach proper technique while using music that excites them. When learning is both fun and challenging, students are more likely to continue. Celebrate every win. Not every achievement is a recital or a competition. Sometimes the biggest victories are learning the first complete song, reading notes independently, improving rhythm, or simply practicing consistently. Every small success deserves recognition. When students feel their efforts are noticed and appreciated, they gain confidence, and confident students are much more likely to stay committed to their musical journey.